Well, the virus has now killed more than 100 people in China, and new cases have been confirmed around the world.
So you don't want to frighten the American public.
France and South Korea have also got evacuation plans.
But you need to prepare for and assume
strongly warning Americans to avoid all non-essential travel to China.
That this is going to be a real serious problem.
France, Australia, Canada, the US, Singapore, Cambodia, Vietnam, the list goes on.
Health officials are investigating more than 100 possible cases in the US.
Germany, a man has contracted the virus.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
Japan, where a bus driver contracted the virus.
Coronavirus has killed more than 100 people there and infected more than 4,500.
We have to prepare for the worst, always, because if you don't and the worst happens.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
The former vice president has said he had no knowledge whatsoever of his son's business dealings and was not involved in them at all. But this sounds like direct involvement in them.
Yeah, that's a blatant lie. When he states that, that is a blatant lie. Obviously, the world's aware that I attended the debate last Thursday. And in that debate, he made a specific statement around questions around this from the president. And I'll be honest with you, I almost stood up and screamed liar and walked out because I was shocked that after 4 days or 5 days that they prepped for this, that the Biden family is taking that position to the world. And once again, I'm irrelevant in this discussion. I just was brought in to run this company and have been exposed to all of this fact. And I believe the American people should see this fact. I would have much preferred the Biden family go on record and define these facts for the American people and the globe versus me sitting here having a discussion with you on it.
Pretty powerful. That's Tony Bobulinski last night with Tucker Carlson. Just an incredible, that one will go down in the history books. Just a honest guy sitting there walking through what the Bidens have done. Of course, the mainstream media, they're absolutely, Biden campaign's panicked. They've gone to the mattress, put a lid on Biden again, not doing anything today. And even when he does something, they'll do some events so he doesn't get mocked and ridiculed. But even when he does something, he's not going to have any press avail and won't answer any questions about this. New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street, everybody crickets. And I'm stunned that the FBI met with this guy on Friday, and he was actually allowed to go back to L.A. He should have been kept over the weekend, and I mean, not arrested or anything like that, but just kept in 24/7 and going through all the details. I mean, Jag Maxey sitting there on the hard drive going through with a team, coming up with deal after deal after deal. I think the FBI might give a call to the banking regulators and to the SEC and say, hey, you want to check into this, maybe freeze their bank accounts and get on it with these people. We're joined by Sam Faddis now for the second hour. Sam, thank you very much. We've got a killer team, Tom Farnham, Sam Faddis coming here co-hosting. I want to make one just slight in my analysis of holding Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina. You just got to bring in either Wisconsin or Pennsylvania, one or the other. There's an assumption there, and this assumption gets to why President Trump was in Omaha last night. It assumes, like in 2016, that we, in the states that break them up by congressional district, we won Maine 2 and you win Nebraska 2. I guess there is some issue with Nebraska right now. That's a suburban, in the suburbs of Omaha. And President Trump's not running strong in the suburbs. So a massive turnout last night, just an absolute massive turnout. So we've got Matthew Tierman, independent investigative reporter, that's all over top of the Bevan Cooney part of that. We don't want to get too confusing, but he's another partner in this whole thing of Hunter Biden's. He's got 26,000 emails he turned over to that Matthew Tierman and Peter Schweitzer have been going through. They had explosive reveals. You put some out yesterday. You got a little bit big-footed by Raheem Kassam in the audio of Hunter Biden. So as Robert Bartley at the Wall Street Journal used to say, it ain't a scoop until you treat it like a scoop. Give us your scoop, because we'll try to re-energize this, because it was pretty big yesterday, Matthew.
Well, yesterday I put out in the morning, and I sent it to Jack, because Jack's got an incredible blast radius with his social media, an email that had, in my view, the most smoking guns of any single email. It had, they talk about using the quote-unquote other currency, a direct administration pipeline. They talk about Hunter HB's dad's union relationships to quote-unquote justify the ask. This was in reference to the Native American bond scheme that they later got involved with with Devon Archer, Galanis, this whole cast of characters of Rogues Gallery. But the real funny thing that nobody saw coming was we got a Facebook Zuckerberg mention. He's co-investing in one of their deals, and Peter and I are still building out this story. It's maybe a little less relevant to the election cycle because it's not, FARA non-compliant, but they were looking into building a brain institute with HHS funding, and we're still kind of building that out. It doesn't have the same sort of sexiness as, the United Nations of global corruption with Russia, China, Ukraine, Kazakhstan. But this thing didn't get off the ground, I don't think, but it looked like they were building this thing out, a nonprofit and a business entity around some...
But hold it, but Matthew, and Raheem, jump in here. It has more relevance. That's why the story's so huge. Well, I talked to many grassroots. I talked to many grassroots organizations yesterday that said we've already been throttled because Facebook's 10-day window before the election, you can't do political ads. None of our stuff. We really can't communicate. I talked to one guy who's legendary and who can put people on the street. He can put people at polling places. He can put people everywhere in millions. He said, I really can't even talk to my Facebook crowd because they won't let us advertise at all and push it up the stream. They are suppressing. Zuckerberg is in business with the Biden family. That's like the CCP. This is a tech oligarch. So don't downplay your story. If it was not the most relevant thing, I wouldn't have you. I don't have you on here for your looks, and we don't have you on here for your personality. You got a huge scoop. So let's go back. Let's reset. You got Zuckerberg in an email in the Brain Institute. First of all, they're trying to rewire everybody's brain because we're going to hit the singularity. They're all putting chips in each other. Okay, there are no conspiracies, but there are no coincidences. We'll get to. Okay, Zuckerberg's not an alien, and he's not AI. Okay, I want to state
Prove
that.
It.
Okay, I want to state that. I want to posit that. No, but go back. This is the social media oligarchs. Milesguo. 5 weeks ago, we do a 2-hour special, and he sits there and goes, the 5 weapons of the CCP for global domination. In top of nuclear weapons, biological weapons, their currency, their economic power, all of this, number one weapon of the Chinese Communist Party, social media. And he says it's coming to the United States. We have all the people in the new federal state and the whistleblower saying, hey, man, we're working to, we've left China, we've left our friends, we're working for this democracy. You've got a bigger firewall than the CCP has inside. It's easier to get a VPN through. It's easier to blow through the VPN and see G News, GTV, and to hear War Room in all its unexpurgated beauty, right? To hear that in mainland China than it is to get word out of what's going on here in the United States because of Zuckerberg. So let's reset. Yep. Zuckerberg's in business with the Biden family. Tell us how.
So he looks to be, according to this November 2014 email, on this neuro corporate entity that they're going to build out, ideally with HB, the Biden-Lyft relationships, to help get some public money. They're going to build out a for-profit entity and a nonprofit. And in the for-profit, they're talking about Zuckerberg having 50% of the equity along one of the verticals, which is a PTSD vertical, post-traumatic stress disorder. That's apparently what he was doing due diligence on and was interested in. What's also interesting in this exchange, because they recognize that with him involved, it's going to be very high profile. What do they do with Hunter? And there's an exchange where they say, well, we can't have him the CEO of any of the companies. We'll make him the head of a nonprofit segment. So this is a wink and a nod that they recognize how useless this guy is, which absolutely corroborates everything we've seen in all these email strings. So it is a really interesting frame, and we had no idea that, the Zook was involved with these crony gangs.
But here's the other thing, as broken by Raheem Kassam and the team of the National Pulse. Zuckerberg is, in his way to help the American people and help democracy. He comes forward and says, I'm going to put up how many hundreds of millions of dollars? Yeah. I'll put up hundreds of millions of dollars so that people like that young woman can get focused on voting. And it's the National Pulse and Natalie Winters. They go through his charitable giving on this. It turns out 95% of it goes to Democratic areas. It goes to Democratic areas to drive anti-Trump Democratic votes. He is a partner in this process to suppress conservative voices as a tech oligarch and to drive higher numbers for Biden.
Yeah, let me just be clear about this for the people who don't know what this is. I mean, this is a Zuckerberg entity that is channeling hundreds of millions of dollars, but what it's doing is in states where there are high concentrations of Democrat voters that they're worried about those people getting out to vote. In those local counties, they're funneling the money to there to make sure that people have access, whether it's buses, whether it's putting on travel, whether it's making sure that people know where their polling station is. They're not doing that in the requisite Republican counties, whether it's a red state or a blue state. It's being targeted in a very, very specific way. And the money's going to government to do this, by the way. Zuckerberg's giving the money to government to do this, and government is doing the bidding of Zuckerberg.
Exactly. Who's doing the bidding of the Bidens? Okay, Tierman, another question the audience wants to know. Where is Bevan Cooney? What you had the witness of all witnesses. You had a guy that gave you 26,000 emails, and he's supposed to be safe and secure in a federal prison. Only Matthew Tierman can lose a guy like this. Where is the witness? He's supposed to be in a federal prison. How did you lose him from a federal prison? That's not easy.
I'll get there. First, I just want to say, you say you complain about my face for radio. I could just go back to calling in if that's easier. Bevan is he was moved to solitary as we discussed last week. And, he's dropped off the map a little bit. His family's still talking to him, but not as much. Haven't spoken to him in the last 24 hours that I've heard, talking to his family. I actually think that there may be some movement and there'll be some discussion with the feds. I had some calls yesterday with committee staffers. I'm not going to, get into, working for which office or anything, but you can kind of figure it out, that there's a lot of interest on what's going on in his head. And again, I just want to highlight, this guy's a friggin' American hero. He had 1 month to go. He was in Camp Fed, chilling in Oregon, fitting the paper pushing crime he was an accomplice to, hardly the ringleader. He got thrown under the bus. 1 month to go, and he risks it all because he's so apoplectic that Joe Biden and the Biden family crime syndicate that he had a front row seat to witness potentially could be elevated to the highest office on earth. And he felt compelled to, reach out to me through our mutual contact who he was in with. And now his life is a lot more complicated. He would have just, gone back to Montana, in 4 or 5 weeks, and here he is at the center of a total firestorm. Another thing I need to highlight with you, Steve, I just posted a couple of very China relevant drops from these emails. And again, there's 26,740 email strings, and each string has, like the exchange we posted yesterday with Facebook and HB's dad union relationships, 4, 5, 6 emails. So it's really, six-figure emails, 100,000, 150,000 that Peter and I and his team have had to go through. It's been pretty arduous, and there's still more coming. But this morning posted two different not emails, but two actual, firsthand primary source documents. A slide from one of the BHR PowerPoint presentations, a marketing material slide entitled Global Network. And this is a rogues gallery of international influence peddling. I mean, you got James Bulger, Whitey Bulger from the Boston mob, the Irish mob up there in Boston, who's legendary from The Departed. He's involved. He's close to the Biden Archer cabal. And the guy in his marketing materials looks like he was just cast in a Scorsese movie for a mobster. Everyone else is in a suit and tie. He's got a jacket and turtleneck. He's there actively, quote unquote, in Sino-U.S. trade in energy and infrastructure, which is a pretty crony sector to be in. Devin Archer is billing himself as an independent director of Kazakhstan's Sovereign Wealth Fund. I mean, that's, a real savory group, the Kazakhi Sovereign Fund. Jason Sugarman, who's had legal problems for Bank of California. Hunter Biden. Paul Sohn, who was a former portfolio manager for George Soros. And then you've got two guys from China. One guy, Yuji Zhao, who is chairman of Beijing Boyu Investment, and he bills himself in, and this is so rich, it makes me smirk, expert in state-owned enterprise management and reforms. Because, Bohai, Harvest, Rosemont, if they were doing anything, they're working on reforming the Chinese state-owned enterprise system. Yeah, right. And then you've got a guy, Xi Jianhua, who is affiliated with H&A Group. And Steve, you and I have talked in depth about H&A. H&A is a mega cap conglomerate with interests across all sectors, and it has been a feeding ground, dumping ground for Chinese intel agents. It's when the Chinese intel guys get their intel education, and then they get pushed into the private sector for global economic imperialism. A lot of them go to H&A.
Matthew, we got to bounce. We'll talk about H&A thing. Can I get your Twitter handle? People want access to you. Give it to us.
Yep, at Matthew Tyrmand, MATTHEW, TYRMAND. I also posted a Sinopec PowerPoint. They were marketing Sinopec shares in the West. There's some very interesting segments in there. So go take a look, spread it around, guys.
Matthew Tyrmand.
Scoops bigger than his forehead.
Whoa. Matthew, you're a good man. Okay. Jack Posobiec next with Sam Faddis. Be back in a moment.
Do you have any idea how your mattress affects your body and how well you sleep? Is it too hard or too soft, causing you to wake up with sore shoulders, back, or hips? Are you uncomfortable because you're too hot or too cold? Now you can get the total body support you need and the better sleep you want with the new MyPillow mattress topper.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. When I invented my new MyPillow mattress topper, I made it to have everything you'd ever want in a topper. My mattress topper helps give you the support you need, helps relieve your pressure points, and regulates your body temperature for you as an individual. It comes with a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry the cover. It's made in the USA, and I back it with my 60-day money-back guarantee.
Go to MyPillow.com or call now to get your very own MyPillow mattress topper. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 30% off and 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Order now.
MyPillow topper delivers on its promise to give me a better night's sleep.
I can sleep all night through, and it's a miracle for me.
Mike's exclusive 3-layer design starts with a layer of MyPillow foam, providing you superior support and comfort. The second layer of transitional foam evenly distributes body weight and helps relieve uncomfortable pressure points for optimal comfort. Mike's ultra-soft outer layer is a patented temperature-regulating cover that helps keep you at your ideal sleeping temperature all night long. Unlike other sleep systems costing thousands, the MyPillow mattress topper takes comfort to a whole new level without any wires, remotes, or moving parts. Call now or go to MyPillow.com to order your MyPillow topper. Use the promo code to save 30%. When you do, Mike will give you 2 of his standard MyPillows absolutely free. That's right, 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off your MyPillow topper today. Order now.
I personally guarantee it's going to change your bed into the most comfortable bed you'll ever own.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow. Towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work. What a concept.
I really love the towels. They're really great. They're super absorbent.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. The new MyPillow towels are exclusively made with 100% USA combed cotton with proprietary technology and with maximum absorbency. They dry you faster and are guaranteed to work. And listen to this. Use the promo code on your screen and Mike will include a second full towel set with bath towel, hand towel, and washcloth absolutely free. That's 2 MyPillow towel sets for the price of 1 in your choice of color.
I personally guarantee they're going to be the best towels you'll ever own.
Order now.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
John Frederick Radio Network, Real America's Voice, Newsmax TV, G News, GTV, and of course on every distribution platform, Facebook, YouTube, all of it. Hashtag War Room Pandemic. The live stream, want to hear all your comments. I'm going to get, he left, Matthew Tyrmand left on H&A, as you know, Milesguo and I, in the summer of 2018. Did a huge investigation when the chairman of H&A died. It was the largest financial company in the world, owned 20% of, I think, Deutsche Bank at one time. They privately held, started as a $3 million airline services company in Henan province, became the largest privately held financial company in the world. Milesguo, that's why he is live interview. When I was in the White House on Voice of America, the plug got pulled for the first time in the history of Voice of America. It got pulled on a live interview because he was sitting there saying H&A is actually controlled by Wan Xishan, by 2 C4s in New York City. They pulled it. They go, oh, the guy's lying. He's a liar. He sued all of them. They sued him. They all dropped out of court. Turns out, guess what? H&A was controlled by 2 C4s under the control of Wan Xishan. H&A is now in bankruptcy. in receivership, just like China, CEFC in China. Complete scam. It's a money laundering front operation for Chinese intelligence, for influence peddling, and basically elite capture, whether the elites on Wall Street, corporate America, the cultural institutions. Remember, Chairman Yi, the guy they're talking about, that guy was worth so much money, said the richest guy in the world. He was being hot-walked around New York City. He's dropping money to the New York Opera, to the Metropolitan Opera, to all that. And if I misspoke, Pacific Palisades is actually in L.A., right? It's in Los Angeles. It's one of the nicest neighborhoods in Los Angeles. Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks, I think Billy Crystal. A ton of the lower-key celebrities live there that don't want to live in Beverly Hills, Holmby Hills.
Jack Maxey lived there for a while?
Jack Maxey lived there before it gentrified. Jack was there, and then that's pre
Airbnb'd his house.
That's pre Steven Spielberg. Hunter's up there, so they're booming. We have some audience feedback on the Matthew Tierman hit. What was it?
I think producer Dan. What did the audience say? He's not that ugly.
He's not. Here's a great one to show the global audience. You know, Steve always says they're trying to take down the system of Westphalia. You know, and all of a sudden we get Bela Lugosi. Greetings from Reitberg, Westphalia.
Hey, thank you. The Westphalian system. Bela Lugosi, that's his handle? Okay, glad you were listening. Everybody, this show is watched or listened to throughout the world. We're very honored about that, and that's because we go to the heart of what the problem is with globalization. We go to the beating heart of it. One of the problems is they got guys on the payroll. We have Sam Faddis from the Central Intelligence Agency. I'm going to get into about all the things that they should have been doing in Hunter. But we got Jack Posobiec. We got the all Polish team today. We had Bobulinski last night. We had Tierman, and then we got Posobiec.
Hang on, I just want Sam. Yeah. You got to fight for the mic in here.
He's too polite. Sam's way too polite.
I'm here.
Sam will get the mic.
Sam, yeah. Once he gets it,
you won't be moving.
No, that's right.
Posobiec, and if a team in Denver can start to play, because this is another. You think that Bobulinski's interview with Tucker Carlson is underplayed? It's second only to the riots going on in Philadelphia. Posobiec, and if the guys in Denver, if we can start rolling the B-roll that producer Vish and the team in Denver put together, it is pretty horrific. So Posobiec, walk us through, you're a Pennsylvania guy, walk us through what's going on in Philadelphia. How out of control is this?
Steve, thanks again for having me on. Proudly representing Pierogi Gang here. Look, Port Richmond section of Philadelphia. Like, I'm a Temple University grad. Philly's my city. My little brother still lives in Port Richmond. That's his Walmart. That's his Five Below that you're looking at these videos of this mass looting, the mass riots that were going on. And I want people to understand, if you don't know the geography of Philadelphia, where this looting took place over the last night, this is 10 miles away from where the police incident happened, where that guy ran at the police with a knife. So this is not some protest in a neighborhood that spilled over, right? This is targeted. This is targeted anarchy, targeted looting. Fox 29, which is the local Fox affiliate in Philadelphia, they're reporting that 18 ATM machines have been blown apart last night and overnight in Philadelphia. 18 ATM machines. And you got the FOP president, John McNesby. You guys can find that clip. John McNesby's out there this morning, and he's the president of Philadelphia Officers Union. He's out there slamming the governor, or the mayor and the governor, because the mayor is putting out the order. They're telling them, the cops, that they can't arrest the looters. They're telling them you can't arrest the looters. They're putting out arrests for burglary. They're putting out arrests for, a couple of things here and there, but they are not allowing it. And that was put out by the deputy police commissioner there in Philadelphia, the CAR 2. Deputy Police Commissioner Melvin Singleton, and Fox 29's got all the receipts on this. This is absolute lawlessness. And Governor Wolf, the governor of the lockdowns, the governor that ordered the nursing homes to take the infected patients, he got up in front of the citizens of Philadelphia, the citizens of my state, Pennsylvania, last night, and he said that the National Guard would be deployed. Where's the National Guard, Governor Wolf? You told us that they would be there last night to protect the city, to protect these businesses. They were nowhere to be seen. And then it comes out, he says, well, I meant that they will be deployed at some point. It's not good enough. We know the men and women that wear the uniform of the National Guard. If you ask them to be somewhere, they can be there very quickly if they need to be. You lied, Governor Wolf. You lied to everybody. This is a city on the verge, and we know how important Philadelphia is when it comes to voting, when it comes to ballot boxes. They've got these drop boxes all over the place. What, is this going to go on next week? 6 days from now, when voting is taking place in Philadelphia, is going to be one of the most important cities in the entire republic, in the entire country. And you're allowing this to go on in your streets, Governor Wolf. This is what I mean. It's completely unacceptable.
Yeah. We have Jack Posobiec. Governor Wolf was on the Joy Reid show the other night and really just dumped on the police officers, right? That gave them no cover whatsoever of even. I think
called them peaceful protests.
Yeah, called these peaceful protests. So I want to go back though. You have actually been to Seattle. You've been a close observer and getting information out of Portland. How does this compare with the anarchy we've seen in other cities? What's happening in Philadelphia right now?
Yeah, so this is a different type of anarchy than you see that we saw in Chaz or we see in Portland. They're not out here necessarily for the political arm of it. They're not making political statements. They're not trying to protest. You can see it in the videos. They're not outside of a police precinct, right? They are targeting businesses. These are smash and grabs. These are well, actually, I should amend that a little bit. They are attacking police in the streets. They're attacking police when they get in their way. But they're not going for those targets. They're going for money, and they're going for washing machines, big screen TVs, anything large and of value that they can carry out. And these guys were porting. And you could see Fox caught it on TV last night. A guy is calmly walking to his car with a hand truck carrying a washing machine. Full view, has no worry about being caught by police. I don't even think he was wearing a mask. This is economic terrorism. I don't know how else to put it. This is economic terrorism.
Where is this going to go from here? Is this going to continue on? Does Wolf or the mayor have any process of how they can intervene here and try to calm things down? Because politically, and this is why the mainstream media doesn't want to cover it, with a couple, with 5 days ago, 6 days ago, this is what they don't want coming out of Philadelphia. This will scare the Karens out in the in Lower Marion, right? So
Steve, I was just talking to a real good friend of mine, a really good friend of mine. She has a condo right in Center City, loves the city. They've got a 7-year-old kid. She said, all of my friends are saying we've got to rent houses out in the county. We've got to get out of here. We've got to go. And she said she just rented a house in Villanova. She said, we got to get out of here. And she said, my condo, it was, we paid a substantial sum of money for it. Now it's worth effectively zero. We can't get rid of it, right? These people are taking massive economic hits. The city's going to take a massive economic hit. You're going to see a similar situation as happened in New York, and the people are fleeing. They're fleeing. If you have the money right now, you are getting out of Dodge in terms of Philadelphia.
The original BLM riots in Philadelphia were the most underreported story of all the rioting that went back on in June, because Center City, Philadelphia, which is fantastic, was essentially, and particularly the high-end shopping, was essentially destroyed. Nobody wanted to talk about it, but guys couldn't go. So how bad was that? How bad was that rioting that took place? And that all got suppressed. Why should it be any different now, Jack?
Well, it's different now because we're this close to an election. We're now this close, and we saw the videos of the shop owners trying frantically to put up plywood in front of their windows, in front of their storefronts. Every Wawa throughout West Philly and University City, going into Center City, they're putting up plywood. I had a couple friends just driving around. They said, we want to make sure the Wawas are safe. If you know anything about Philadelphia area, we take Wawa pretty seriously. And the idea that this is stuff that's affecting people in their daily lives, it's affecting these businesses. People are going to start making the decision that they don't want to live there anymore. They don't want to continue to do business in these areas. You're going to create those type of food deserts, those type of medicine deserts that people always talk about in the inner cities because it's so hard to get access to this stuff. Well, finally, after years, they put up some Walmarts in the city, and then what happens? That's the first place that gets targeted to be looted, over 10 miles away from where the incident actually happened.
Jack, can you hang on for the next segment? I got Sam Faddis here. I want to ask you in some intel questions regarding Hunter Biden, the Biden crime syndicate, and their involvement with Chinese Communist Party intelligence. If you can hang on, Jack
They're a triad.
A lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know Jack is a naval intelligence officer, speaks perfect Mandarin, and complimented every time I had him on the show about his Mandarin by our Chinese audience. Okay, we're going to take a short commercial break. The entire team and our 2 intel guys will return on War and Pandemic in a moment.
And you are over, 'cause we're taking down the CCP. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. We will fight till they're all gone. We rejoice when there's no more. Let's take down the CCP. They have all life for too long.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best sleep of my life. They are so soft and smooth. I never slept so good.
I fall asleep faster because I'm actually comfortable.
I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable, which is why I can give you my full 10-year warranty. But I didn't stop there. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. I guarantee you the first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors and will be the softest, most comfortable sheets you will ever own. Use the promo code and get 2 for 1 low price, plus free shipping. Giza Dreams are made with the finest, most sought-after cotton in the world. Giza cotton was once reserved for only the finest dress shirts, but is now available in Mike's Giza Dream Sheets. They feature a beautiful silky sateen weave that helps keep you cool and comfortable all night long.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best rest of my life.
I love my Giza Dream Sheets.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Use the promo code and Mike will give you a very special 2 for 1 low price and free shipping. That's right, get 2 for 1 low price and free shipping. Call or go online now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
For everyone like you making their business work online, there are people searching, headed in your direction. For every detail you adjust, there are potential customers digging deeper. For every photo you position, there are others watching and wondering. So since people are still looking for what you do online, GoDaddy is making it possible for you to create a website for free.
Nice technique with that knife there.
Start now at GoDaddy.com.
I sent your new prescription to the pharmacy.
Any idea how much it will cost?
You have a choice. Insurance or GoodRx?
I have insurance.
Insurance is not what it used to be. People struggle to get their prescriptions covered, and prices keep rising. I recommend GoodRx. You get free coupons to save on your prescriptions. Compare prices to find the best discounts.
GoodRx. Smart.
Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Okay, for hashtag War and Pandemic or the live stream, you take a vote. Is it Wawa or Sheets? That was the hot debate we had in the War Room in the commercial break. I'm a Sheets guy.
Sheets.
Wawa Sheets.
What are these words you're saying?
See, Brahim doesn't know how to drive, so it's
Wawa. Look, I much love
okay,
for,
so we got
and we've got an audience member, who's with
okay.
Pasobik and I.
Wawa.
James Fisher writes, Wawa is the source of all that is good in the world. Wawa, we need your help in the fight against the CCP.
We need all the audience to jump in here. Is it Sheets or Wawa? And if you don't know, tell us why you don't know.
For the British audience,
yes.
Can I just say
Go ahead.
It's Marks and Spencer.
Well, that's a whole different deal.
No, because you can get Marks and Spencer in the gas stations now. They have a partnership with BP, and you get them on the side of the road. You get those nice, lovely fondant fancy. Wow. Remember when we went to Scotland?
Yeah.
There was a Marks and Spencer right outside the airport, and I stocked up.
Wow.
Yeah.
They won't have chili dogs.
I want to go to. I want to turn to the intel part of this. Here's the question we have, and Maxie keeps asking this. The audience keeps asking this. You pay for this enormous security apparatus. You pay for this national security apparatus. You pay for the intelligence apparatus. We have an existential threat with the Chinese Communist Party, right? You've got, and Pasobek, I'll start with you, and then I'm going to come with Sam Faddis. You've got Hunter Biden, who clearly has issues, right? But you got these guys in this cast of characters around. They're cutting deals, but they're taking direct financing from the Chinese Communist Party in a number of partnerships that all come out in the light of day in the months and weeks here. But one thing we do know, that they are a business partner, and the financing comes from Lao Beijing. It's stolen from the Chinese people, taken by the Chinese communists, funneled back into American politicians, number one. Number two, we know that even a moron, a drug-addled moron like Hunter Biden, right, who is also a Georgetown grad, want to stop picking on Yale, right? I found out he's got he's a graduate of the National Security Program I was. He's got the same master's as I got.
Well,
so that's why I'm not bragging.
Steve,
that's why I never brag about that one anymore.
This is also another reveal. This guy's a moron. He goes to Georgetown. How's he get into Yale Law?
Unbelievable. How's he getting to Georgetown? Come on, dude. Back off there. Back off. How's he getting to Georgetown? But
we do have breaking news, by the way, as well, if you want to jump into that.
Hey, but one last thing. He admits that Raheem Hassan puts up in audio. He knows that his handler he calls him the China spy chief, Patrick Ho, who spends 3 years in federal prison, has now been extradited to China. And then Raheem puts up today on the National Pulse the wire transfer of the cash. So give the breaking news, Raheem, and then I'm going to ask my intelligence guy, start with Sam Faddis, how does this happen? How does this happen when we're paying hundreds of billions of dollars? Raheem Kassan.
So this is breaking out of the DOJ FBI joint press conference that we just heard from. 8 individuals are now being charged with conspiring to act as illegal agents of the People's Republic of China. The PRC officials directed a multi-year campaign of harassment and stalking directed at U.S. residents to force their return to the Communist Chinese Party. So we're talking about there are names named here. So you've got Zhu Yong, Hongru Jin, Michael McMahon, and others named in this. And the quote is, with today's charges, we have turned the PRC's Operation Fox Hunt on its head. The hunters became the hunted, the pursuers the pursued. That's from Assistant Attorney General for National Security, John C. Demers.
But hold on, I want to go to Ray. Ray is trying to save his job. And what does Director Ray say?
Director Ray's quote this morning was the Chinese government's brazen attempts to surveil, threaten, and harass our own citizens and lawful permanent residents while on American soil are all part of China's diverse campaign of theft and malign influence in our country and around the world. The FBI will use all of its tools to investigate and defeat these outrageous actions by the Chinese government, which are an affront to America's ideals of freedom, human rights, and the rule of law.
Can I just remark, because it's very
trying to save his job, it's not good enough.
October 15th, the Justice Department unsealed an indictment charging a nationwide money laundering network, and this was, again, a half dozen Chinese nationals. And this is why it's so important, and this is why probably some websites are coming down today. These guys ran a casino in Guatemala City, and they were laundering Colombian money through China.
But stop. I'm going to give you signal, not noise. This is noise. This is just noise.
Yes.
These are all Grundoons, and they're harassing Grundoons. Look, they shouldn't be able to harass any Chinese that have been expatriates. And like this. We've got a ticking time bomb at the senior levels inside the West Wing. If Joe Biden is in some possibility, he steals this from Donald J. Trump. We've got a cancer at the middle of it. Can I have that phone do any louder? We've got a cancer in the middle of it. And yet they were going to come out, and those guys did that thing last week. They're fine. You should do that. They're bad guys, but that's just a collection of bad guys. The world is full of bandits. It's full of bad guys. Outside of small area, the United States, Canada, certain areas of Northwest Europe, maybe Japan, some things around Australia, and India, God bless them. The world is a lawless place. It is the strong versus the weak. This is why populism's catching on. This is why nationalism is catching on. We're trying to give the little guy a voice. It is a lawless world of anarchy, right? It's Hobbesian, right? That's the issue. And so the FBI, Ray can stand up there and try to save his job and, the hunter became the hunted. BS, dude. You've had this hard drive for a year. Show me where you hunted Hunter, right? You're gutless. And the senior guys around you are either incompetent or gutless. And quite frankly, I don't care. They should be gone. And I think you have a systemic problem. I was on a stage in September of 17 when I left the White House and I was preaching a church commission that you need immediately to have a commission to look into the CIA and the FBI systemically. I don't know, and I don't agree with, is there systemic racism in the police force, et cetera, but I advocated getting a presidential commission to get to the beating heart of that. That issue ought to get the top people in the country, and they ought to get all the analysis, all the resources, and argue it out, right? You should do it. I'm not an expert in that, but far from it. Hey, but I know enough about this other thing that you've got a systemic problem. This is the administrative state. This is why it needs to be deconstructed. No, it doesn't need to be burned to the ground, but it needs to be deconstructed. They could announce this at any time. He's coming up there today. Come on. That's the signal. Don't give me the noise. This is all noise and spin. Oh, the hunter became the hunter. They're all Grundoons, and they were chasing Grundoons. And guess what? It's wrong that any Chinese American or any Chinese expatriate would be chased by these guys. Yes, but, dude, you had this hard drive. And this hard drive puts you into the heart of the CCP and Chinese intelligence operations to capture, elite capture at the highest level, and you looked the other way. And you can look on this hard drive in a second and know this stuff's real. So what's your excuse? He should be called into the Oval. He's got 10 questions, and I've already written them out. And if you can't answer, if you can't get an A on each question, you're gone. Fire him today. Do not wait. You show weakness. The president's showing weakness by waiting. There's not one person in this country, not one vote, that will not vote for you by firing Ray. And don't let the weak people around you convince you of that. Be strong. Be who you are. Be what your presidency is about. Be what those people that wait 8 hours in line to be at those rallies. What they want to see is Ray's head on a pike because he's part of the problem and the people around him. And then go into DOJ and do the same thing. Go into CIA and do the same thing. This is for the good of the nation. And guess what? It's for the good of who's rooting you on and cheering you on every second of every day? The Lao Beijing. It's the slave labor of China that's on our side. This is what's so outrageous about this scandal. And we let lowlifes. It's not like the Bidens or the Medicis. It's not dealing with the Borgias. You're not dealing with a bunch of high culture. Look, I'm Irish Catholic. They're nothing but shanty Irish, okay? They're nothing but shanty Irish. Low level, when James Biden's the brains of the operation, I rest my case. All the stars, going back last night looking for poor Obama when he got him as vice president, sitting there going, man, this dude can go on at that Foreign Relations Committee Obama was on, says this brother gets up there and gives these 15-minute questions, and Obama says, I have no idea what he's talking about. He's lost so many trains of thought. He's a moron. The people around him are morons. These are all bad guys. The one guy, they had to put the one straight guy put in the front. He was going to be the front guy, Bobulinski, right? The Polish guy. Right? They got to be the straight guy. Never knows really actually what the real deal is, right? The real deal is he's the straight guy and they're all cutting deals around him. They're buying 19% of the CEFC guys. The best part of the interview, the CEFC guys are one of the biggest. It's a $300 billion company or whatever, huge, a $50 billion company, huge company. They're buying a 19% stake in the Russian natural gas company. Bobulinski's reading this, I guess, in the papers or seeing it. He's going, hey, why am I not, I'm the deal guy. I'm the banker. I'm not in it. He's getting Hunter on the phone. Hunter gets very officious, gets very uppity. It starts, don't do this. And then he informs at the end of it, I just want you to know that I am the personal attorney. I'm the personal attorney for Chairman Yi, a guy he knows is in Chinese intelligence. He's just taking $1 million just to be retained by him.
And what it implies, Steve, is that Hunter Biden and all the people around him know that the intelligence service, signal intelligence, FBI, no one's going to say anything.
So let me go, Posobiec, you quick, and then what happened in the intelligence breakdown to let this go on? Jack Posobiec, and then we'll go to Sam Faddis.
Look, Steve, here's what people need to understand is that we've got now more intelligence, more evidence on the Bidens in 1 week than Rachel Maddow and Jake Tapper and all of the rest, and the FBI and Mueller and Weissman, et cetera, had in 3 years of an investigation of Donald Trump. Right? Rachel Maddow and Jake Tapper would have loved to have an interview like a Bobulinski, right? They would have loved to have a laptop like Hunter Biden's with a hard drive where he's got actual audio of him explaining what is going on. You never, ever once saw a segment like that or a sit-down interview like that throughout all of Russiagate. Everything they threw against the wall, I remember they were parsing emails. They were going through text messages and trying to find ways to twist words around. This isn't that. This is the own people explaining the entire scheme in their own words directly. This is a complete bombshell. Throw the politics out of it. You never get smoking guns like this in an investigation. I've never seen something like this before, even in my time in the intelligence community. You know, when we would look at members of foreign governments or foreign militaries or foreign terrorist organizations, you never see them actually explaining what they're going to do like this. You know, they use cover words. They attempt to use secure communications, and we now know that this spy chief actually did have a FISA warrant on him. The Daily Caller broke that last night, and it's incredible to me the fact that this is actually way more in terms of evidence than ever existed throughout Russiagate, because at the bottom line is that there was no there on Russiagate. With this, you scratch the surface and it explodes. It's an explosion of information, and the American people are absolutely talking about this.
So, Sam, we got about a minute. What is, and we'll come back to you in the next segment, but how can the intelligence apparatus not know this was going on?
It's impossible. That's not credible. I mean, what you're looking at is not just Hunter collusion money. You're looking at the fact that very likely the vice president of the United States was bought and paid for by Chinese intelligence and has been doing the bidding of Chinese intelligence for years.
Do you think, we'll come back to you, break, do you think that the weakness of the deal that we signed in 2014 in the Rose Garden, that Biden negotiated the pivot to Asia with Xi, do you actually believe that might have been influenced by their financial involvement?
Yes, I think it was paid for.
Jack Posobiec, I want to thank you. What's your Twitter handle, Jack? So people follow your reporting all day. You guys are One America breaking news every second of every day.
And then at JCKPOSOBIEC.
You guys are amazing. One America News. Thank you, Jack Posobiec. The cutting edge. Okay, we're going to let Sam Faddis dominate the last segment, right? Because people want to hear somebody rational. I'm going to get off my crazy Steve Bannon. Crazy Steve Bannon is not going to speak. Okay, we're going to be back in a moment.
Stay tuned to get a free pan from Granite Stone. Stuck on eggs, burnt on batter. You can scrub and scrape, but you can't escape the nightmare of your sticky pans. Introducing the Granite Stone Pan, the all-new durable non-stick pan. No butter or oil needed. Watch, we melted down these sticky candies in Granite Stone, and it just doesn't stick. We cooked a half a dozen eggs, bacon, cheese, and tomato breakfast with no butter or oil, and it just doesn't stick. Look, caramels, chocolate, and cheese. Unreal for any other pan, but not for Granite Stone. It just doesn't stick. Granite Stone will be the last pan you'll ever need because it's pressed from a solid aluminum disc for even heat conduction, then coated 3 times with our durable Granite Stone finish. Granite Stone is metal utensil safe and won't scratch. And talk about non-stick. This salmon cooked skin side down with no added butter or oil just doesn't stick. This steak is perfectly seared just like the pros. And because Granite Stone is oven rated to 500 degrees, we bake this upside down pan pizza to perfection, and it just doesn't stick. Fire Flambe Delicious Cherries Jubilee. Plus it's PFOA free and 100% dishwasher safe. Call or go online to get your Granite Stone pan for the special TV discount price of just $19.99. Granite Stone is so durable it comes with a 10-year warranty. And with every order, you're going to get a Granite Stone single-serve egg pan absolutely free. It's the perfect size for personalized eggs, omelets, or frittatas that slide right out. It makes the best bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich quick. Yours absolutely free. We'll even ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. You get it all, an incredible value. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-850-0237. That's 1-800-850-0237, or order online at buygranitestone.com. That's 1-800-850-0237. Call now.
So, Frank, you're the big hurt. Why do you need Nugenix?
After 40, a guy loses free testosterone. Even me. I couldn't stay in shape like I used to.
Frank! So does Nugenix really work?
Oh, yeah. My workouts are incredible now. I'm feeling stronger, more energetic, with a lot more drive.
Frank.
So, say I knew someone who should try Nugenix. How does he do that?
It's easy. Just send a text to get a complimentary bottle.
Frank's right. Now you can claim a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenix by texting BUFF to 42424. Its unique formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate. Text BUFF to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. That's BUFF to 42424.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Sam Faddis, you're the author of the book, The Decline and Fall of the
CIA.
I noticed it wasn't The Decline and Rise of the CIA, Decline and Fall of the CIA. How many years were you a CIA officer?
20 years undercover.
And I want to say that, and the other day we were talking about this, at the FBI, at the operating level, the heroes and patriots you've got at the CIA, these are like the folks in the military, absolutely put country first, not even a question about that. We have a systemic problem. It's not just bad apples at the top.
Agreed.
There's something wrong systemically. It's got to. We got to take care of this. This is bringing it up. I want you to address that, though. How could we pay for this apparatus and it be so wrong all the time? It's focused on, like, Russia and Ukraine, which is fine. You got to do that. They're bad guys, but you've got this existential threat.
Right.
And now we have an active program in elite capture where Tiger Yang has targeted Joe Biden for many decades. And the reason is Joe Biden was from Wilmington, Delaware, which is the global, the corporate headquarters of America. He's a chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee for a reason, because that's the Delaware guys want him there. Yang's all over him for the whole time that Bush is president. And then they're all over him when he's vice president. You got text message, you got emails now. They're getting meetings right away. The whole family's compromised.
Yes.
How can the intelligence apparatus, how can Brennan sitting there lecturing Donald Trump, holding back information on the first briefing because he thinks he may be a Russian operative? How can that happen?
Yeah. How can they miss it? They can't. They didn't miss it. I mean, in other words, let's focus on this. Go back where we were before the break.
That's a pretty big charge.
Right. Well,
What are you saying? What do you mean you can't? If you can't miss it, then you're telling me they know about it?
There is no way on earth. Look at the magnitude. How many? You guys are looking at stacks of emails, tens of thousands of communications, every single one of those things accessible to and read by American intelligence, right? In the course of a week, you guys have exploded this amount of information. You're going to tell me that over 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, all of these contacts between the Biden crime family and Chinese intelligence, which is what we're talking about, and nobody saw that? No, that's not credible. That's not possible.
The FBI, counterintelligence, and the CIA both understand that companies like Anbon Insurance Company, companies like H&A, companies like China, CEFC, their principal purpose is elite capture, right? They understand that's their purpose, is basically capture and bring their elites onto their side.
Which means turning other countries' leaders into agents of the Chinese Communist Party to do their bidding. That is the express purpose. Let's not dance around that.
Here's the reason. The Chinese concept of foreign policy, because you remember, China's the Middle Kingdom, and all the countries around it are not worthy of things. They call them tributary states. You're a tributary state to the Middle Kingdom. And as a tributary state, you ship it natural resources, raw materials, and you're a market for their finished products. This is what the United States is today. This is how they've had elite capture. Remember, the reason you have a structural $500 billion a year structure in manufactured goods, or we can't close the trade deficit, and we're trying to bring our factories back, is that all of our manufacturing is there, and we're nothing more than sending them soybeans, hogs, wheat corn, timber, natural resources, and maybe some chips. Every now and again, we're going to do a chip, right?
Right. But I mean, let's just take it even a step further, right? Just for the sake of clarity, what we're talking about here is the extreme likelihood, the extreme possibility that this guy, Joe Biden, former Vice President of the United States, one step away from the Oval Office, has not just been compromised in the sense of his views have been messed with. He has actually done expressly what the Chinese told him to do for years. Look at the South China Sea. For 2 years, we watched while they fortified and occupied 85% of the South China Sea. We abandoned every alliance with every ally. In the midst of that, as they launched that whole thing, is the famous December 2013 trip where he and Hunter land, and Hunter walks away with $1.5 billion.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just to the timeline, we'll be more thorough about this in all the shows and the daily shows because this is a big charge. But remember, Obama's a fire-breathing anti-war populist. That's how he went. And he's taken on, guess who he's taken on? A random name, Hillary Clinton. The epitome of the establishment. Her first time getting defeated by a populist wasn't Donald Trump, it was Barack Obama. When Obama beats the neoliberal neocon, what do they have to do? To babysit Obama, they put in Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the concierge up at Delaware, okay? Obama's whole foreign policy, Obama's a smart guy. He goes, I got it. This Middle East thing's a quagmire and it's not necessary. Pivot to Asia. Pivot to Asia. He puts Joe Biden in charge. Joe Biden starts going over there early. This is where he has the 25 hours of one-on-ones with Xi. He brings Hunter in 2013. A year later, in the Rose Garden, they're signing a deal. That deal is about cybersecurity and cyber intrusions to steal our intellectual property and the militarization of the South China Sea. It's a very weak agreement to begin with, but it's never executed. When we come in, I'm a naval officer. When I was in my early 20s, I'm on patrol on a destroyer in the South China Sea. I look at today, we have this thing called safe navigation, safe passage. We can't have any fire control radars up. We can't have any radars up except for extreme navigation. You have to go through like a little puppy dog. I said, how did this happen? Oh, that's what if you set off the radars or move the guns or missiles around, the Chinese don't like that. They won't accept it. I said, who cares what the Chinese want? The South China Sea is the body of navigation that essentially unites the world, right?
And all the oil for Japan passes through there, one-third of the world's trade. This was a massive, true geopolitical event, a catastrophe, a defeat for the United States. Joe Biden, as you just pointed out, was the point man charged with making sure this doesn't happen. He acquiesces, rolls over. We do nothing, while his son is bringing home literally billions of dollars.
Dr. Richard Haas, David Ignatius, all the Morning Joe posse, Admiral Stavridis, my buddy, all the Morning Joe crowd. Why have we gone on now for 2 years and this has never been brought up? It takes Sam Faddis, as Jake Tapper so says, the viciousness coming out of the townhouse of Bannon in these people. You're right. It is vicious. It has to be vicious. We're carnivores. You know what? We're going to be carnivores. Protect the greatest country in mankind's history. You ain't seen nothing yet, sir. Okay. National Pulse at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 o'clock. Yep.
We're going to talk Sam Faddis. Sam Faddis is here. He's going to be in the war room. We're going to have him. We got Tom. We got a whole posse here ramping up. Jack Maxey. Sometime in the weeds, other times getting scalps, right? He's got a first bloody scalp. He got that poor company down there, the gaming company. All the directors probably going to be rolled up now. Okay, we're going to see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, but watch the Twitter feed all day. More breaking news as the day progresses. National Pulse at 3 o'clock. I'll be on Seb Gorka later in the day.